Hi, and welcome to What's New in Microsoft Intune 2302. Nikolai, we are back, and lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to be back. It's already been a month. Time flies. I managed to get well from I was sick in the past video, but I'm feeling something in my throat again. So we'll see what happens, what comes out of it. And so we have a new service release this time, right? How are you feeling, by the way, Matthias? All good?
Yeah, I'm good. Every day is a struggle when you have 3 kids and you want to work and also do videos with you. So
Oh
how
yeah,
is it? How is it going? If I
yeah.
feel, in deep, maybe a little bit stressed, but next week I'm going skiing, so I can manage.
Oh, I can totally relate. I just had 1 week off. Went skiing up north here in Sweden. It was amazing. My oldest child, she managed to actually learn to learn skiing for the first time. So she was a little bit
Nice.
skeptic, in the beginning, but after the second day or something, it all just you know how do you say it, came through, or she understood how to use the skis and plows, and yeah, I'm a happy father, a proud father that she managed to learn all those things. So the next time we go on vacation, it's going to be better. Maybe she
Nice.
joins me in the Black Slope someday. Who knows?
Hopefully not. The
Hopefully
kids,
not.
they should only ride the blue slopes.
Oh yeah, she will manage those in the beginning to begin with. Anyways, so this video is about the 2302 service release. It's not the biggest release in terms of features this time around. There is one feature that we have to leave out, unfortunately, because we haven't really seen it yet. So we will not cover it. Hopefully we can cover it in the next video. But we have some content at least, and we have some news and updates and some recommendations on blog posts to read. So let's get started
Yeah,
with the first one. That's
definitely.
introducing support for laser pointers in the remote help feature. Oh yeah,
Yep.
don't shoot me.
No, it's not that laser. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Not the
So
laser dome or
so this laser is kind of to present stuff, and yeah, let's add my screen to the stream here. I showed you last time how the remote help was working, and I have a Windows 365 here and my virtual machine. So let's see if I can make this be a great experience. Help someone with a problem on their device. Get security code. And let's put that into here and send it. Let's see what happens. And I think there was a new remote control version as well, Nikolai, recently deployed. So if you install the app and you tick that it should automatically update, it will automatically update on your devices. So
that is a good
that's,
experience. Automatic
yeah,
updates, we love them.
yep. So take full control. Let's see what happens. Allow that.
So now I want to see you just, take out your laser pointer, point it on your screen so that it remotely transfers into your virtual machine. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, that's what you want to see. Yeah, I have my laser pointer. It's a yellow. No, it was red. Yellow. Yay.
That's
So
yellow.
laser pointer, welcome. That's pretty neat. When you want to show people around and not take over the screen, like click here, educate people.
Yeah.
That's what the laser pointer is all about. So this makes a lot of sense to implement this. When I normally present stuff, I use Zoom it to make boxes and arrows and all that kind. So this laser pointer coming into the tool makes a lot of sense. So I like it.
Yeah, it's a good addition.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the fact that they are still, innovating and adding features to remote help. I mean, from an experienced Intune administrator, it sometimes feels that, okay, here's the release, we release it, and then we forget about it for 6 to 12 months or something, and no new features are added. But here there is consistency. They are adhering to or listening to the community and customers voicing feedback, and I'm assuming this is one of the features that has been requested prior, which is now available. So that's great. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it.
For sure.
So nothing more to say about remote help other than it's part of some of the licensing we're going to talk about a little later.
Exactly. But go test it out. Select your favorite color and start using it.
Yep.
And next up, we have some enriched config manager, site health, and device management experience.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's a nice one.
That's long to read.
It is, and we have well, how many years have you been working with config manager?
Oof. I think I started out in, I have to remember, was it 2009 perhaps, I think. I was actually given a HP ProLiant server, like G2 or something, 380, whatever the name of it was, to just test install config manager 27 or 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no prior experience. I tried to just, click next, and managed to get it installed. And when you got the console open, you were like, whoa, boom, your head kind of exploded. That's my first encounter with config manager and the, the experience. What was yours?
Kind of the same. The upgrade to 2012 was kind of a mind-blowing experience and a brand new console for config manager. But 2020, 2007, or how do you pronounce that? Wasn't that in the old MMC console?
It was.
Yeah. So having this new ribbon and all these kind of nice way to actually put in the functions where they belong, that made a lot
Yeah,
of sense,
actual
I think.
grouping. Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
I got a preview of this new console for System Center 2012 at a conference here in Sweden. I think it was Tech Days 2011 or something, and I believe it could have been Johan Arvidmark or Michael Nyström who performed or presented the session and showed this console. And when you saw it for the first time, you went, "Wow, this feels modern." And fast forward 12 years, well, I'm not sure I can say the same anymore, but I mean, it was an improvement, at least from the previous console. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, lots of things happens in here as well, and we have new versions. My version here is 2211, I think, at least. Yep, it is 2211 indeed. And the news here is that we can project these guidance in our Intune Admin Center console, what we can improve in our config manager environment. But it requires something, and it requires that we can actually cloud attach our devices or config manager environment. So if we do that and go into the console, we can click the tenant administration, and we can click on connectors and tokens and into the Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager. And then if everything is connected and such, you will see a healthy status here, and you will be granted the insights of what you can actually do better maybe in your environment. So that's the news here. No longer need to go to the console, log on to the remote desktop to the server, or a jump host or whatever you use for the console, you can cloud attach it and use the experience in the Intune Admin Center. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's really, a good administrative experience where you start tying these two systems more and more together. Definitely.
Yeah.
I just noticed, and I want to bring it up because it's been a while since I used the Config Manager console. I noticed that the co-management or previously named blade or section in the console is now cloud attached.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm officially not on par with the latest stuff anymore. That's for sure. Things are changing, and that's good. And I like this change. It just popped in my head, and I noticed cloud attached. That was not called that previously, because to me, the tenant attached, the cloud attached, the co-management, all those acronyms or definitions of the whole sort of tying the products together. Use one of them, right? Define what it is. Go with one. So much easier. And if they have finally gone with the cloud attached, that's great. I think it makes much more sense, much more easier to navigate all the different aspects around the whole cloud attached story.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. And actually, from I believe it was 2207, when you upgrade from that version, in the upgrade experience, it actually wants you to cloud attach your environment. So you have to actively choose not to cloud attach your environment.
That is cool.
I think it's an addition, and it is a helping hand from the team to say, why don't you do this? If you have internet on your config manager, why not cloud attach it?
I mean, absolutely. If you're a config manager customer today of Microsoft, you should definitely look into the added value and benefits of the whole cloud attach story. So I think we can recommend that.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and on to the new.
On to the next one. This one is really exciting to me. I think this is one of the best features in this release, because filter has been, to me, pretty hard to get started with. I like the whole concept. I like the idea. I think it's really, really great. But as you start, create new filters, you add them to assignment properties here and there, you pretty quickly lose track of where you have used your filters. But now we can see it, right?
We can. This wasn't possible before.
Exactly.
Was a black box.
So we would have to go for each application or profile and go into the specific sections for the filters for each of these items and check what is added, what is not. And that felt just like, okay, yeah. What if I want to delete the filter? How do I define or figure out where it's used so that I can actually delete it? Because I'm of the I like to have a clean environment where if something is not needed anymore, we remove it, right? We don't just leave it there for someone else to take a decision 2 years down the road. Oh, is this even used? Why do we have it, right? So I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
Super great.
And also because there is a limitation on filters. You can't have unlimited filters.
Exactly.
So you need to stay clean and only have in production what you use. So this, yes, I a couple of maybe 6 months ago, I created a blog post on how to actually script this out, so you could see which policies were using your filter, because this wasn't possible. So this little box here, very welcome.
Very, very welcome.
Yeah. Cool.
Next up, we have a new settings catalog configuration option, which is the allow temporary enterprise feature control. What is that, Matthias? Why do we have that?
This is a fun one, Nikolai.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So let me just put in the name here, and I'll tell you about it.
Feature
Control, enterprise feature control. Let's search for the same feature. AB control. Yay. So we have it right here. And we need to notice something, because what it says is it Windows Insider only. So this means that we have a setting right now. It's there to use, but you can't use it for your estate of Windows 10 devices and current Windows 11 devices. This can be used on the future Windows 11 features or versions, and we'll see when that come out in reality. But what it allows us to is that we know from Windows 10 and all these enablement packages that the months before the actual feature update or the enablement packages, our feature actually got installed on our devices as dormant features. So they were actually on our device. And that makes our enablement package that fast and that good experience when you do the feature update. This temporary enterprise feature control allows you to connect these new features so you can actually use them and they are not dormant on your device. So they are off by default on a managed device. And now you can actually utilize them if you want to know what exactly is coming on the new and later quality updates and feature updates within your estate. Isn't that correct? Or have I missed? Yeah.
I was
Good.
just quickly Googling here because I get stuck on the temporary word in this setting name, right? I was just trying to see if I could find the writing and talking at the same time is not my strong suit.
Exactly, I have it the same way. But the temporary, I guess, is there to say this is a very limited time you have where you could enable this before it actually will be enabled on the feature pack itself, so to speak.
Yeah, I was just because I remember that the group policy name for this was different, which I
Yeah.
liked a little bit more. It was more intuitive and more descriptive, basically. Now, when I'm looking at it, of course, I cannot find it.
No, that's how it is. But I think Aria had a great way to explain it, actually. Here on the commercial blog, Aria had a great blog post on exactly this feature. So I would suggest go read it, because it makes a lot of sense to look at this. Enable features introduced via servicing that are off by default. That's the
exactly.
DPO.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Right. That to me makes much more sense. But then again, we cannot get everything as we want. Just have to align, right, and adapt.
Yeah. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
No,
but then all
it
this,
is.
I mean, it comes together with the release of Windows 11 and the continuous development of new features being added to upcoming Windows versions. And this setting basically gives you the control to say, would you like these features enabled, or would you like them to be activated once you do the actual feature update later on?
Yeah.
That's the summarization here, where you can control this. But like you stated, Matthias, remember currently with the settings catalog, it's Windows Insiders only. If you want to use this, you could have to do a custom URI policy.
Yep.
With the current stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's time for the next new feature.
Yes. So, Nikolai, there was introduced with the Endpoint Security a way to actually manage devices that is not managed within Intune, that meaning enrolled to Intune, but only enrolled into Defender for Endpoint. And when we did that and we gave them a tag or said now we want to onboard these, it could be servers managed by Defender for Endpoint into Intune, so we could actually see the device. There was no way that we could actually get rid of the device. So we had to offboard it from Defender for Endpoint and make sure that it was no longer projecting into Intune. But now we can. And I have actually onboarded one server here to my Intune. You can see it's managed by MDE. Ownership is unknown, compliance not evaluated, etc. Of course, it cannot evaluate something that has not enrolled into Intune, so that's why. And if we click into that server, before we didn't have any of the actions in the top here, but now we have this delete button. So if we don't no more want this server to be inside of Intune, the portal, we can get rid of it now easily, and that is a step up because, yeah, as you mentioned with the filters or anything in regards to Intune, it's nice to keep it clean and keep it that way.
I would assume that this new feature is not something that is going to be cleaned up by the device cleanup rules or anything like that. So you would have to manually or automatically in a different sort of way manage this and figure out which ones should be in there and which not. Obviously, you would probably not go in here and manually delete them. You would automate it in a fashion where you detect if this is present or if it should be removed, or depending on what type of criteria that suits your environment. But it's a good addition so that we can actually remove these items. Like I said, I like to clean things up. This is an example of that. That's a really good addition.
And Nikolai, actually, last time we talked about attack surface reduction rules that we could actually apply this way in MDE managed devices. And I didn't have an example at that time, but I actually do have some kind of demo this time. And you can see now I added another setting, so it actually is doing a conflict, so it's not applying. But I created a policy, a attack surface reduction policy, which applied to my device. And I did that from the Endpoint Security and attack surface reduction. And when I created that policy, I did that with Windows 10, Windows 11, and Windows Server. And this is the way to actually target devices managed by MDE, and not only Intune enrolled. And this is a very great addition and good to know for those who actually onboard their service to MDE and want to, for example, tamper protection Defender on it and make some antivirus rules around CPU usage, scan times, schedules, firewall rules, or even set attack surface reduction rules on these servers. So great addition.
Absolutely. Go ahead and deploy your ASR rules immediately if you haven't.
Yes.
I think that's a good recommendation. Everybody should do it. Cool. And the next topic is also on the Defender for Endpoint.
And
perhaps.
Thank you so much for putting up this one, because on the Nordic Virtual Summit we had a couple of Fridays ago, I actually had a speak with Kent Ayalon, and we actually showed you how could you gradual rollout updates to the platform and engine and the signature updates on the Defender for your devices. And I also showed you that there was no possibility to add these policies without using a um, custom policy from out here. It was not in settings catalog, so you had to look up Microsoft documentation on CSPs, and then you could do your updates for your engine updates, your platform update, and your security intelligence. And that has now changed, Nikolai. So we can actually
That is cool.
use the UI to create these updates and manage it that way. So how
And
does that look
why,
like?
Matthias, if I can just ask you, why should you do this? What happened a few, what is it, months back in the beginning of the year?
Yeah, it was the 13th of January. We had a security update, or signature update. It is updated on our endpoints, and those who had attack surface reduction and a specific one, they started to see shortcuts getting wiped out from the device. And if something can really make end users angry, that is removing their their dear shortcuts. Don't do that. Yeah, could we have prevented that? Maybe not, because it was a signature update and that comes out daily. So you would really want to get on your toes in order to prohibit that. But if it came to either the engine or the platform, there is a long flow how this is tested. Microsoft tests this properly on Windows Insiders first, and then they get feedback and all that. But yeah, you should make a ring principle to roll out these patches to the Defender. But how can we set it up? If we go to the antivirus, we can now go into create a policy and platform, and we go to Windows 10 and later, and Defender update controls. And let's call it something good, gradual Defender updates. And we see exactly the engine, the platform, and the security intelligence updates. And now, instead of me putting, sorry for that, some numbers in the value, I get a drop down so I can't get it wrong. And as I told you, we have the beta, which is the Windows Insiders. We have the preview current channel. We have the stage and the broad, which is in the same channel, kind of, but preview is a set of early adopters. Stage is the first 10% of your devices, and the broad is the rest. And if you have servers, you can use the critical, but we didn't recommend that when we talked about gradual rollout for clients on the Nordic Virtual Summit. So we said use one of these 3 channels in your environment, and you're good to go. And that was the message, for engine updates, platform updates, and for security intelligence updates. You only have 2. You have the stage and the broad, and that's why I said, could we have prohibited the ASR rule from taking away shortcuts from users? Probably not, because we only have those 2. So someone in the staged group would have had to see this and see, oh, there's an ASR rule taking my shortcuts. Let's put it into audit mode, and then prohibit the rest of the devices to actually see the same experience. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a good idea to set this up, right? So that you make sure that you define these channels and you test it out in the way that works for your organization, of course. And yeah, the signature updates, they are definitely really fast and maybe not the best example, but the story here is, or the sort of thing to take away from this is that even Defender and the updates and things like that, they are not, completely 100% functional all the time, right? So I mean, it's good that you think of these things, that you make sure that you don't just say everything update at once. It's the same thing you need to take into account when it comes to update channels for Office and for Windows and all different applications there is, and you should definitely do the same so that you spread your risk basically, and find a way that you can manage that within your organization. So I like this. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So the principle must be fail fast, because
Fail fast.
you can't prohibit development, can you?
Nope.
Constantly moving.
Yes. Evergreen, ever updated, whatever.
Exactly.
Something like that.
And you mentioned a few areas where you can use it: Office, Windows, Defender, Teams, OneDrive, Edge.
Chrome,
Just keeps
Firefox,
coming.
I mean, it's something we need to adapt to. It's something we need to think of. It's something that we need to implement. We need to have that in the back of our minds every time when it comes to updates. Definitely. Cool. And in terms of updates, news and updates.
Yeah. First
Has there been
news.
Anything cool?
Yeah, first news I want to touch upon. You might have seen it. I know that many have blogged about it, but we haven't spoken about it in the Intune what's new here. But ta-da! Endpoints Admin Center is no more. Microsoft Intune Admin Center, it is. So I've also seen that people says, well, we could use another link, but the news didn't say that. The news said that the portal changed name. It didn't say use a new URL.
Nope.
So use the same URL you're using today, endpoint.microsoft.com. I'm not going to show you the other one.
URL you're using.
I'm not going to show you that because you shouldn't use it.
Let's just say that we have tried and we have failed fast.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, so that's the first, Nikolai. But there's another.
Oh, right? Yeah, there's another. What is that?
Intune Suite.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Intune Suite is here. Microsoft Intune Suite.
And the P2, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of plans, which is cool.
It kind of looked like all the other products in Microsoft. We have Defender, Plan 1, Plan 2. We have Azure AD, Plan 1, Plan 2. Teams.
I may actually just have said that licensing is cool. I'll retract that statement. It's not cool. I don't like it. But it's a necessary thing to understand, because there is a whole set of new features coming to Intune, which is going to require different or additional licensing going forward. So it's definitely worth to read up on all these things. And I'm sure whoever are watching this now, you cannot have missed the announcements on Twitter and all the different blogs and other channels that Microsoft has been pushing this.
Exactly. So Nikolai, how do I understand this? I mean,
you're asking me, the licensing expert? Absolutely.
Yeah, aren't you my CSP go-to guy?
I wouldn't really refer to myself as that.
Okay.
No, but I mean, what you have called in Red, that's what you currently have with your existing different types of licensing. If that would be the EMS license or Microsoft 365 E3 licenses and such, or E5, that already includes Microsoft Intune Plan 1. That's what you have today. And as you can see there, it's stated with all the different plans or subscriptions or licenses, right? The new ones are the one to the right, what you're right now coloring in yellow. And the first one is the Plan 2, which includes the tunnel for mobile application management and the specialty devices. And
yeah.
the specialty devices, to me, then it's a little bit unclear. I mean, I'm thinking like Surface hubs and those types of things and similar, right?
That was my first thought as well. But
then you can see virtual reality headsets.
yeah.
Have you managed a VR headset in your Intune environment?
Not other than
Anywhere customers?
HoloLenses.
Yeah,
HoloLenses I have, but other VR, no, I haven't. But I really think what Microsoft is relating to here is if you have HoloLenses, you can basically manage that in this one, in Tune Plan 1. But if you have specialty devices, meaning it's not a Microsoft HoloLens, it's not a Surface Hub, it's not a Surface device, it's a specialty device, then you need to buy the Intune Plan 2. Because I've heard rumors that Apple is going to make a VR something hardware.
potentially.
If you want to manage that, I could potentially think that this is specialty devices. I don't know, but large smart screen devices, that could be Panasonic or Android screens, I believe. And it's also said conference meeting rooms, right? So meaning, yeah, does that mean MTR devices that is on Android and not Windows?
Yeah.
I don't know. You could read the complete list of devices supported in there, and then you might get the answer. So,
Which is
but
cool.
yes, Nikolai and I, we are not licenses specialists, but we care about
Encourage you to look
customers,
up these things.
and we also care about viewers of this video, and not to confuse people, right?
Absolutely.
And then to the Intune Suite, because when does that make sense? It makes sense if you look at all the add-ons that has been announced. You can see it has a price tag. Yes, this is $3.50. This is $3. That makes $6.50. We don't know yet what this price is and what those two prices are, being the advanced app management and the cloud certificate management capabilities. But what I see would be a smart way to go around is to say if you have two add-ons or more, then it makes sense to buy the Intune Suite, because then you get access to all the add-ons, because you can see it's ticked all add-ons in this Intune Security or Intune Suite. So you get all the add-ons in that one for a better price, and then you can utilize all the add-ons. I think that makes sense, but let's see about it. It's not all that has been developed in a finalized state.
Exactly, and I mean, currently it could look like there's not a whole bunch of features that's in there, but I mean, one that is really interesting to us, at least, and that I've been following for some time, is the endpoint privilege management, which I think is an extremely great feature that is being added to Intune. And as you can see at the bottom, more advanced capabilities are on the way. We know of some of them, and they will be announced here in May, as it says. So, and it actually says here cloud certification management. That I think is really, really cool, because think of the aspect of you could actually shut down your endless servers and potentially get rid of your parts of your PKI on premise, right? That is one of the in my opinion, if you're still using endless servers, that's one of the remaining sort of hard things that you can't really cut off right now. While you could run everything virtually on machines in Azure or other cloud services, or cloud providers, but it's not really the same thing, right? It's not a core native cloud feature from that perspective. So that one is really intriguing me as well. I'm really looking forward to the announcement of that one.
Yeah.
And when you, like you said, right, that's two things that's interesting to me. And the third thing is also the advanced endpoint analytics one, with those additionals on, and that's already $3, right? And if we just assume on the pricings here that it's around $3 per user per feature, it quickly adds up, and well, then it makes sense with the Intune Suite. But then again, everyone needs to make their own decisions. I can only speak from my own experience.
Yeah.
But I think going, with I'll purchase remote help and I will purchase the EPM part separately, it doesn't bring the full value. And I think that the Intune Suite is probably the way to go. Obviously, then I understand that there are organizations and companies out there that may think that the Intune plan is good enough for them. I would just, this is my own personal opinion, I would just hope that a little bit more would be added to the plan one, because I think it's quite slim as it currently stands. Could be a marketing, trick to make everyone purchase the suite instead. But it's yeah, I'm not going to say interesting because it's licensing, but from the feature perspective, it's really interesting. So let's see what's in store and what's coming, and what it actually brings.
And unfortunately, I've heard a lot of people, complain when they bought the full suite of Microsoft 365 E5, which is quite expensive already, and now they have to purchase more licenses to actually get hold of these new cool features. But there is actually a reason behind. There as people or companies do pay for a third party to
exactly
to make these gaps right now. And yeah, would it be nice if Microsoft gave this away into the Intune license? For sure it would, but if we think it actually makes sense that you have to pay extra for these services, and hopefully there will also be competitive and better development in this add-ons to feature pair with what is out there.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, it totally makes sense to me. I mean, you don't get anything for free, right? And I mean, if you have a certain associated cost with a third-party tooling today, and you would be able to just throw that out and save all that money by getting something for free, I mean, it's not really the world that we live in. Obviously, E5, it's a rather expensive licensing model. But then again, I think it makes sense because, I mean, the EPM, for instance, it's really targeted to be competitive towards other vendors out there. And yeah, it's a no-brainer for me, at least.
Yeah, I think most of.
But then again, I'm not sitting on money where I work, so I can just go, hello, I would like us to purchase these licenses because it makes sense. No, I mean, you would probably have to build a business case and present that to managers and stuff, unless you are the manager and just think this is a good evolution. But before we round things off, we have a really important notice here, right?
Yeah, and I just wanted also to touch upon how do you get started on this, because we have possibilities to get free trials before you actually purchase whatever you're looking into. So go do that, test it out, and yeah, see if it fits into your environment.
So the announcement, or not announcement, but notice, what is that? You had to actually remind me about it. So
yeah, the notice here is that we expected in mid-April 23. We have a new Windows Diagnostic data which needs to be turned on. Otherwise, we will have some reporting in Intune that does not work. And if we look into the connectors and tokens, we have this new one called Windows Data. And we have to make sure that we have the licenses that we say we have before turning on this on. And if we do, it's just a matter of turning on this feature. And yeah, then the diagnostic data will continue to flow into your environment, and you will be able to use these reports used to look into data regarding upgrades to, for example, Windows 11 or a newer feature built, etc.
And if I recall, you don't need to have these sort of profiles anymore that defines this gathering collection, right?
Yeah, some of them you can take away. Not all of them. But
Well,
yeah, that's correct. The telemetry we're talking about here. So the commercial ID and some of these are not applicable anymore. I think one of them was the compliance, update compliance. This one isn't a thing you need to set. But go read the documentation on that before taking this advice. And of course, why not just let it be until you're sure that all your diagnostics are actually working. So there's nothing to deprecate here unless after May, I would say. So let's see about that. We will follow up on that question, Nikolai. I think be a good topic.
it is a good topic for sure.
Yeah.
And it's also our last topic for this week or month. We should probably say.
It is, and I think, yeah, even though it seems to be not that much, it is actually, if you go through it all and you look under the rock and want to explore what happened, etc. February is a small month, and I actually think the team did some quite good things and interesting for the Windows platform here. And they just keep surprising us with goodies that we get into the product. And
So
love it.
let's round off with what's your favorite new feature then?
That's a tough question. I would say associated assignment tab for your filters, because that is so useful.
That would be my my option as well, or my selection. I think that's really good, as we said already.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Matthias, for another great video. Good new features being released, and let's show you more good stuff in the next months to come.
I'm eager to show you that, and thank you for listening. And Nikolai, pleasure as always.
Pleasure.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.